When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group.
The greatest protection I have is cameras. We record all of it so that we put on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence.
We need to have differing opinions. We need to have people that don't share the same worldview and see which one is better and try to find common bonds. You should have your own discussions like this every day. You should try to model it and try to have, back and forth, and that's what makes the country strong and great. Civil dialogue.
Civil dialogue. Charlie Kirk. Some look back at some of that engaging on college campuses. Our top story at the bottom of the hour. The search goes on this evening in Utah for the person who assassinated conservative commentator Charlie Kirk Wednesday. The FBI is offering a reward now of up to $100,000 for information leading to an identification and arrest. In tonight's Common Ground segment, a look at the bipartisan reaction to that murder on this 9/11. Joining us, Kansas Republican Congressman Tracy Mann and New York Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi. Thank you both for being here. First, we've had a day to digest this. I think the country is still in the process of that. Congressman Suozzi, first to you about the fallout from this on this day.
It's just really sad. It's just, I feel so bad for his family, for everyone that loves him and believes in him. I feel bad for our country. We have so much work to do to try and heal some of this division. Like he just said in that piece you just had, we don't have to agree with each other and everything, but we have to have civil discourse and talk to your segment. This segment is so important because you try to bring Democrats and Republicans to have a conversation in a civil way. And, I'm so happy to be joining Tracy Mann because we couldn't be more different. I'm from New York. He's from Kansas. He's a Republican. I'm a Democrat. And he's my friend. We're friends with each other. We have dinner with each other. We talk about issues with each other. We're real friends. Not like I rise, to say about my good friend from Kansas. Not that kind of friend, but real life friend.
Mm-hmm. Congressman Mann, you both have co-chaired the National Prayer Breakfast, and that's obviously an annual event that brings together leaders on both sides of the aisle and really from around the globe. And you attend this weekly bipartisan breakfast. In the wake of this shooting yesterday, I guess a lot of people are saying, have we turned a corner in the country? How do you get it back on the tracks?
Well, evil still exists, Bret. Yesterday was a gut punch, but we've got to keep prayerfully moving forward. And we're going to do that by the relationships that are formed, I believe, in Jesus through prayer. We have a weekly house prayer breakfast. That's how Tom and I became friends, one of several ways. Every Thursday morning has been happening since the 1950s. We met this morning. All of us had heavy hearts. We all, Republicans and Democrats, prayed together. And I have found that when you pray with someone, it's hard to hate that person. We have got to figure it in this country. How do we disagree but not demonize each other?
It was April 1968, and Senator Robert F. Kennedy was telling his supporters about the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I just want to play a soundbite from that moment.
You can be filled with bitterness and with hatred and a desire for revenge, or we can make an effort, as Martin Luther King did, to understand and to comprehend and replace that violence, that stain of bloodshed that is spread across our land, with an effort to understand, compassion, and love.
Again, announcing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. Congressman Suozzi, this is the anniversary of 9/11. You were the mayor of Glen Clove, New York during 9/11. And you remember on 9/12, there really was this thought around the country that we were coming together. And that feeling at 9/12, you wonder if we're going to be able to get back to that.
I want to be in that place where we're unified with each other. We have to work at that. And the small groups that Tracy's talking about are so important. Small groups have always been things that help change the world. But remember, on 9/11 and 9/12, there was no social media. And you can imagine what the conspiracy theories that would have been propagated and the divisive talk that would have been propagated on social media at that time.
Congressman Mann, final word here.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop being a conservative Republican. Tom's not going to stop being a Democrat, but that doesn't mean we have to hate each other. President Trump, Museum of the Bible, on Monday announced the American Praise Initiative, exactly what we should be doing. He called on people in this nation to pray for an hour together every week in small groups, now until we usher in our 250th birthday. That's exactly what we ought to be doing as a nation. We should be praying for each other, our communities, and our country across the political spectrum, and as we all work to try to get to a better place.
Well, Congressman Mann, Congressman Suozzi, thank you for the time, and thank you for coming on Common Ground on this day.
Thank you, Bret, and thanks for doing this. It's really important.
You can see all